Leaders who share their knowledge for the betterment of the industry. The most followed, retweeted, and liked mortgage professionals. 50 most connected mortgage professionals. Brought to you by Remen Wholesale.
Hi, I'm Carl Markman with Remen Wholesale. We're incredibly proud of our history of educating and partnering with the broker and banker community to prepare you for what's next. We've always been committed to same-day turn times on initial underwrites, which allows us to earn your business each and every day. We're happy to sponsor the following program.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of National Mortgage Professionals 50 Most Connected Mortgage Pros. I'm your host, Rick Grant. Today's program is brought to you by Remen Wholesale. Now, today's guest you may already be familiar with. You've probably seen her around on the speaker circuit, and she's a very well-known industry trainer. It's Sue Woodard. She's the president and CEO of Vantage Production. Sue, thanks for being with us.
Hey, I'm glad to be here with you today. Thank you.
Now, we've talked to a lot of people on this show so far, but very few at your level. So how does a CEO have time for social media, and why is it so important in your business?
You know, for my business, I find, a couple of things. I think the obvious answer is that it keeps your name and your brand at the forefront of people's minds. I think it's really important when people see your name and your brand in a variety of different formats. They may see you at an event. They may, see you online at an email somewhere on a website, see you in a magazine. But I think when you add to that, then the social media connection, I think that makes a big difference as well, just in terms of kind of hitting a multi-channeled approach. But I think the most important thing, that what's most critical for our business and for me personally, is really that I find people are hungry these days for a real authentic human connection. And although it seems strange to say that online is a place where a real human connection can get made, I think the reality is that people don't have 93 hours a day with which to really have all the voice-to-voice conversations they might like to have with their friends, their colleagues, their connections out there in the industry, love to get together face-to-face, but that's not always possible. And so I think it really just allows a true, authentic human connection. You're just doing it using technology. And I actually find that a lot of times the online connection helps you make that human connection. That's how you're connecting to say, hey, we're going to have an event coming up and we'd love to have you, and you're making all that happen online. Even at a personal level, you make those human connections with people by saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. You want to come join me? I just signed up, in fact, for a half marathon, and I used Facebook to invite all my closest friends and family to come join me if they wanted to, but I haven't gotten any takers on that one yet.
Well, I can't imagine why. So tell us now about your approach to the business. How do you work it in with everything else you're doing?
Well, you know what? I think you just have to you strike when the iron's hot. You don't want to overthink it too much, but I probably use my mobile more than anything. I find that I rarely get onto any of my online connections on my desktop. I tend to just use my mobile and actually just take advantage of things when they come to mind, whether it's something personal, whether it's something professional. And the beauty, I think, is doing a combination of those couple of things. Those are the pieces that I find time on mobile and don't overthink it.
That makes perfect sense. Now, as far as social media networks, there's a number of them out there. Which do you prefer?
Facebook and LinkedIn are my two favorites. I think I've got enough going on in enough places in my life, as many people do, that the two major ones, Facebook and LinkedIn, really cover all the bases. There's a lot of new cool things out there, but I really just stick to those two. And I know I've been told that I should be tweeting, but I'm keeping that on my bucket list for the moment, maybe later this year.
All right. Now, hopefully a lot of CEOs will follow your example and get more into social media, but they still have to manage the people beneath them, or the people that they're managing. So how can they decide what people should share and what they shouldn't share? How do you handle that?
Well, what I do personally, and what I tell my daughter as well, is you pretend that you have one grandmother who is Democrat. You pretend you have one grandmother who is Republican, and just remember that unlike your grandmothers, though, people don't care about the really cool sweet potato hash recipe that you came up with this weekend, and you don't need to post pictures of that. So I try to post things that are going to be okay for a broad group, really keeping in mind the sensitivities that people have. But also, I think the most important things are having that combination of personal and professional, and also making a real connection and conversation. Asking questions, I think, is really critical rather than just making statements. Trying to throw things out there that are intriguing, that make people want to engage with you, I think, is very important.
Fantastic. Sue, thank you for giving us so much of your time today. One quick more question though. If you had to give your best tip, best piece of advice to someone who's not yet using social media, but they know they need to be, what would you tell them?
Well, two different things. I would say, first of all, don't try professionally to measure your ROI in traditional terms as far as marketing goes. A lot of times people will say, gosh, we don't want to get involved in social media because what's the ROI on that? But I would ask, hey, what's the ROI on your pants? Hard to quantify, right? What's the ROI on your mom? Can't quantify that either. So just because you can't put a traditional marketing ROI on something doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. Again, people are very hungry for connection, and it's an easy place to make it happen. And I guess the biggest tip I would give people is to be yourself, be authentic, talk in very plain terms. People don't want to hear about pivoting strategic initiatives to enhance productivity. They want to hear, we make good things happen for other people. That's our new tagline at Vantage Production here. And that's the way we talk. It's what we believe. And that's how you should present yourself on social media.
Fantastic. We've been visiting with Sue Woodard. She's the president and CEO of Vantage Production. Sue, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
And thank you all for joining. Until next time, I'm Rick Grant for Mortgage News Network.
What's the ultimate measure of a wholesale lender? Commitment. Remen Wholesale is committed to our broker partners. It's why we provide a huge educational platform offering everything from webinars to seminars to individualized training tools in the program you just watched. We understand that our role is to make you look great in front of your customers and referral sources so you can earn more business and increase your income. Find out more at RemenWholesale.com.
This is Mortgage News Network. This is Mortgage News Network.